Hello, and welcome to an exciting episode of AI Amplified, boosting IQs with AI for you. My name is Shannon Murphy, and I'm with the AI Center of Excellence, and with me is my co-host, Mike Bitzerka, AI Technical Specialist. AI Amplified is an ongoing series by the COE where we bring you the latest information in AI capabilities within TD SYNNEX. We bring you into our conversations with leaders and innovators in this dynamic space. So today we're talking with David Chao, Director of Practice Builder Program. Hello, David, and thanks for joining us today.
Hi, Shannon. Hi, Mike. Really nice to be here with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. So AI and as a topic is still very new. It's rapidly changing, very technically challenging, which is all very scary and why I absolutely love it. But normal people, maybe the non-technical nerds like me, are they're concerned. They want to use AI. They hear about it. They don't know where to start. And that's okay. That's why we're here, as Shannon was mentioning. We exist at AI Amplified to help you, our coworkers and resellers, to stay informed with these various AI technologies. And that's why I think bringing you on for our guest today is great, because you have a unique perspective in the challenges that our customers and our coworkers might have in facing bringing AI and going to market with it, which is no less technically challenging and fascinating. So I'd love to go into that with you today.
Yeah, well, thank you. AI is one of those things. I have a very smart colleague named Shannon that says AI is everything and AI is nothing, right? It could be a lot of different things. But since I'm kind of an older guy, I've been around the block a couple of times. You know, when you look at the movements in technology, like these really big changes, like when the web came, right, and then cloud and virtualization, and then SaaS, it was the small wins that actually got people to understand what the capability was. So let's go back to the web a little bit. People weren't talking about e-commerce at the time. We used to call them brochureware.
That's true.
It was a page, a click, and to another page. And if you could do kind of the brochureware, you did pretty well as a company, right? So boom, you had all these companies like the Sapients, the Viants, and the companies that I was part of that were creating essentially simple web pages. But it was easy for companies to understand the power of it because it was easy to see. And I think the challenge that you have in AI is there's so many possibilities, there's so many things that you can do, that if you don't narrow it to something that's meaningful to somebody, and especially to the customer, then you run around like a chicken without your head, and you're like, I got to do AI, I got to do AI, and you don't really know what that means. So when you take like the web analogy, or you take, even when Salesforce came out, I would argue that Salesforce was one of the first companies to not do SaaS, because we were doing that kind of thing called an ASP years before Salesforce came out. But what did he say? Benioff said, software should be like like electricity. You plug it in, you use it when you need it, and you unplug it when you don't. Right? It should be a utility because it needs to be easy to consume. What did he do? He killed Siebel. The whole concept of CRM got killed instantly. So what did he do to create this whole software as a service marketplace? Is he made it very easy to consume. AI needs to do that. It needs to get into simple, easy to understand. You can do this if you do this. And I think you saw the trajectory of ChatGPT. When you have grandmothers saying, "Hey, have you been chatting with that GPT fellow?" Right? it's an interesting thing because that's only been 2 years. It's
True.
only been 2 years because it's something that you can get your arms around, right? So I think we have a unique perspective in Practice Builder because we look at cloud and we're still helping companies in cloud. We're still helping partners. What are we saying? We're arguing that cloud's been around since 2008, 2009, and we're still helping partners convince end customers they need to move to the cloud.
Yeah.
You would think, oh, here comes the buggy whip. We're ready to go.
Right.
No, it's still happening, right? And it's still happening in cybersecurity. It's still happening. So when you look at AI and you go, what are the use cases? What are the solutions, the verticals maybe that are most applicable, right? Those are really tip of the spear kind of opportunities right now. And I think when you think about like what could happen is what you're going to see is like some of these things are going to start rolling as to I'm going to apply this idea over to here and see if it works. I'm going to apply this idea over to here, right? Because again, if you look at historically, look at the web, look at even Salesforce, they had one of the original marketplaces. They had a whole exchange that you can, I think it was called Salesforce Exchange, that you could marketplace that you could sell and buy add-ons to Salesforce.
Huh.
So let's not talk about like AWS being revolutionary in it. I think the original one was like Palm Pilot. The original marketplace was like
I loved Palm Pilot. I had one. Hell yeah.
You could buy applications for your Palm Pilot. So it wasn't the Apple Store.
Way before Apple. Yeah.
Right.
So I would look for who's the kind of the bright star right now as the kind of indicator of, ooh, that might take off. And then you start going, oh, let's apply these things. So I would imagine that the frustration of our partners, and the frustration right now is everyone's talking about AI. Where do I go? What do I do? What's that thing I can start with? And I think that's what we try to help in Practice Builder. I think Destination AI and the education that we do is to say, hey, there's a lot of stuff happening in the lane that you're currently in. Stay in that current lane. Don't go thinking you got to build a large language model if you've never, you can't spell LLM, right? So let's just start that way. So that's kind of the perspective that we have in Practice Builder is, things are going to move at the pace that they take off on. AI is much faster than everything, but we can rely on history to kind of see how adoption kind of goes.
Right. I've always thought you don't have an AI problem. You have a problem. You have some business problem, and maybe AI can help. Maybe you apply it. It's an application of it. It's not the problem itself. It's your solution.
I couldn't agree with you more on that. I mean, if you could solve it easily one way, solve it. If it requires some other things and, you get much better benefit out of it using an AI tool, then do it. There are some really cool tools that are out there that when you use them appropriately, wow, can really save you a lot of time. Really can. So those are the little wins that I think we have to build on in the AI market, in the AI industry, to start getting even faster and faster adoption.
Yeah, and the little wins, David, have been talked about for so long, and I laugh about that because it was the way salespeople always tell their customers how to go to market. Start with something simple, get that quick win, get everybody excited and motivated, and then rinse and repeat as often as you can with that. It's one of those old mantras that are never really going to go away. We're always going to say, start with that small win, whether it be cloud security or AI.
Yeah, and like Mike was saying, start with an actual problem. You can't run around and go, AI fixes everything, just like you can't run around and say cloud fixes everything, and you're like, what's the problem? I don't know, but cloud's going to fix it.
Right. But I have a hammer and everything's a nail right now.
That's the only thing I can spell is AI, so let's just go with that. right?
Right.
It's just
Right.
not the case anymore. And I think what you're seeing partners begin to be able to do is, and especially with this AI PC refresh that's coming out, the general PC refresh, you have an opportunity now to actually have an interesting conversation. It's not just, do you need a PC? Because you're not having that debate anymore. Employees need PCs. That used to be a debate years ago, right? In the late 80s, early 90s, that was a debate. You're not having that debate now. Now you're having well, why should I move to an AI PC? What will it do that we can't do, right? And so now you're asking different business questions. But that's my hope is in AI is you're going to get better business questions and you'll have better answers and maybe AI will apply to it.
I love that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you, David, joining us today, sharing your insights. Thank you, Mike, for co-hosting with me. And finally, thank you so much to you, our audience, for your time and attention. If you have any questions about AI or our topics today, please reach out to any of us and we'll catch you next time on AI Amplified, Boosting IQs with AI for You.